Hey, boys and girls. Weather report for April 20th, 2021. And I don't have too much. I kind of want to call out Cell's cowardice and like not only not responding to me, but I put this comment in one of his videos and he actually deleted my comments. And all I did was say, wow, Cell, nothing. You got nothing on the video we did on you. Zinc fingers, you know. And it was a respectful video, and I didn't climb on him as like I usually do. And we just went after his whole spiel about zinc fingers, which I may play a little clip on later on. And then I said, wow, you guys are kind of triggered about the minuscule comment on Cell's degrees where I asked, what degrees does he have again? That's all I did. And they went off on it for a long time. And anyway, he deleted those two comments. So he blocks all my comments. He refuses to respond to me in any way. He won't come after the critique of that I have mounted against his bullshit on zinc fingers. Oh, they could never have evolved. He has a really weak argument, but he does put up some good science, and I came after him on all of those points, and he's like BeGawk. he's afraid of me, and so he pretends that he, like I'm a drug-addled high school dropout. What did he say? I burned my brain out with drugs and alcohol, and it's all to avoid me because I kicked his ass pretty hard on fitness about 6-7 months ago. And I don't think he ever forgot it. So, but it'd be cool. It'd be cool if he
so burn out that you that your arguments aren't any good. I mean, yeah, you still have to deal with the critique, and that's the thing now seems to be reluctant to do is to deal up front with critique, however he feels about you.
He keeps saying in his videos that, the evolutionists aren't responding to me. They're not answering my questions. They're not taking my challenge. We are taking his challenge, and I've taken it seriously and come back at him. And so he keeps spewing lies, basically, saying that nobody's challenged him. I'm pretty sure he has watched the videos. If he hasn't, then that's even worse. I mean, that's even slimier of him not to have at least watched my critique. But anyway, a lot of it is on nuclear localization signals, which I may try to explain a little bit later. But anyway, and that's kind of all I got there.
The bottom line is as we said, he's very sensitive, as you can see.
Oh, he is.
He's very sensitive, very emotional. He seems to hold grudges, that's for sure. I mean, look at how he reacted with me just recently, and I don't know the guy, and he reacted to it. That's something that happened 4 months ago. So what does that tell you? He holds grudges, and honestly, I think that with you, of course, according to him, or you don't have a formal education, or so he's very afraid of that being shown up by somebody like yourself, which he knows you can do, you're capable of doing, and you've done it already. So he's, I think, very afraid of that. Being embarrassed, So.
Well, in this field, he does not have enough formal education either. He may be fine for applied physics or whatever, but as far as biochemistry goes, I don't think he knows any more than the surface kind of stuff that you can learn from the Wikipedia. I mean, you can learn molecular biology, and you can learn a lot about it without a great deal of chemistry or anything else, just because they're little shapes, that hook up to other shapes, and you can learn all the names and you can learn a lot about it. But in order to make claims about evolution and how things evolved, you have to go a little bit deeper than that. And I don't think he has. But I don't know.
Well, did you see? I don't know. Did you? I know you saw his videos, but that whole episode that happened with his diplomas. Did you see that whole thing? Right? Remember we talked about that? I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to in that comment.
Right. And did you see he actually, I mean, they were under like I talked about before, it's like they were under, him and a few other people in his stream were under the impression that somebody on this stream said that he didn't have didn't have certain degrees or whatever. And that's not what was said at all. I mean, some people didn't know. So like yourself, you weren't sure of his degrees. And some other people in that stream that day weren't sure. And remember, Leo pointed out, he said, oh, I think he has this. I mean, nobody was saying that that he claimed he had such and such a degree and he doesn't. Nobody said that. But that's the way he took it. And then he went over to his fireplace and he took out his degrees and, oh, by the way, I have this and this. And that's what I meant by that whole thing, was like, nobody was saying that. Like, some people didn't know, so everybody was trying to put their input in and figure out what diplomas did he have, and all
we
that.
Looked it up.
So that's all it was. And he acted as though people were putting him down and he doesn't have the education. It was ridiculous.
And then he kind of did the same thing when he called me a high school dropout who burned my brain out on drugs and alcohol, which was, I thought, what's slimier than what we did? I mean, all we did was look up his degrees and ask, what degrees does he have? And he went off on this tangent because, I shared that I'm an alcoholic and a drug addict.
Right.
And went ahead and used that against me, which is, I think, a really unchristian thing to do. I don't know about you. I don't know what the right way to be a Christian is, but I'm guessing that letting people that make mistakes in their past, like dropping out of high school, and and I did go to college later with a GED, but I don't usually bring that up. I call myself a high school dropout for fun, or getting involved in drugs and alcohol and then changing your life. I mean, the Christian thing to do is basically you change your life, right? You make a change in the things that you were doing wrong, and you are forgiven or whatever. I thought that was the whole Christian program, but apparently
it's like they just love to talk about that. Like somebody so and so will get off of drugs, and then forevermore the preacher's using that person as an example of what Jesus will do in your life, or the preacher gets a lot of street cred by being an ex-junkie.
Yeah.
So
and I did it without Jesus, so maybe that bothers them.
Yeah, honestly, I look at the Christian side of the community and I am like shocked all the time, almost daily, on their behavior. It's amazing how much they fight each other too, right? I mean,
that too.
They're just so judgmental, a lot of them. I mean, you can't say that about everybody or all of them, but it's amazing how much they fight amongst themselves. And a big part of it is, their doctrine. They're fighting over that, and interpretations of certain, parts of the Bible. It's crazy. And then their behavior, they can really be kind of nasty. So,
yeah. What was it? Oh, yes. Speaking to that, so I was on one of Patrick's stream last night, and he was reviewing a Smokey video, and I heard more Smokey than I'd heard in like months, and I felt like I was getting cancer just listening to him, so I had to leave. But anyway, Praise and Smokey have apparently kissed and made up, but my prediction is that Smokey's going to come back on praise, and it just create all this havoc in that community again. And they were all infighting, and they're fighting with. I mean, they basically treated Lena very horribly.
Right. Well, you're not keeping up, Speed, because it's already happened.
Oh, you mean Smokey's already?
It's literally, well, it's literally happened immediately after that. You know how praise is. My God, he flip-flops more than anybody in this community, right? I mean,
he does.
He's, oh my God, he's so influenced by anybody he comes in contact with, no matter who it is. He just gets so influenced by that, and just he almost can't like be himself. He flip-flops all over the place, and he immediately flip-flopped as soon as all that was all done. They made up, right? And then it's almost, I think it was like 20 minutes later, Praise started a new stream and said, "Oh, that was all an act. It was a performance." Oh yeah, he did a whole stream. You got to see that. That's already he just did that.
My prediction came true that fast.
It did. Absolutely. So it's crazy that, I mean, all that fighting amongst, I mean, even separate Smokey from the whole thing, and you look at what's been going on. Did you see the whole Gavin thing? My God, that was a major to do.
Right.
That whole, they all went after Gavin, but that was I mean, in my opinion, that was well deserved. I mean, Gavin's behavior is so bad. I mean, and I question him. Holy shit.
But he reversed it. Praise reversed it and gave Gavin control again right after that. But
you
know, Praise is a special boy, and I do kind of like that about him, that he kind of accommodates anyone, and he switches, and he's always thinking and switching around. So I would not use that as a criticism against him. I kind of like that in him.
Yeah.
But the others do not. It doesn't float well with the other hardline Christians on his channel. So
yeah, I like you said, I like that he's accepting with everybody. He likes to accept in, you know, atheists, and likes to hear everybody's side. You know, I like that part about him, but he just flip-flops so much. You know, one minute he does that, but Gavin keeps the reins on him when it comes to that, and basically doesn't allow him to do that. So that's what kind of stinks, because Praise is not really being himself. He's being reined in by Gavin. And I thought it was all going to really change based, you know, when all the shit hit the fan with Gavin. He stripped his mod stuff away, and I was kind of hoping that Praise would get back to the way he used to be, more accepting. And
second.
So yeah, anyway, but
he went right back and gave Gavin the reins. And then the other thing is Jason Ezard, Faithful, Honest, and True. Yeah. He was like in Standing for Truth show, I think a year ago, and he was a real regular. And then all of a sudden I get an email from him. Well, for one thing, he threatened my life. He threatened Immutable's life. He threatened to send some drug cartel guy after us.
Yeah.
And he came up with something that he had fabricated about me, and I don't know what the hell, something to do with meth and cartels. And then I spoke against it, and he warned me that he was going to send his cartel he had friends in the cartel or something like that.
He just made some threats recently. He made some kind of off the handle threats just recently, a few days ago, during all this drama. Yeah.
And then he sends emails to everybody separately with doxing Stanley, giving us his name. And then about 2 weeks later, I think Standing for Truth tried to calm him down, and he sends another email with a different name, and it was he was trying to erase the effect of the first doxing. And then later on, he sent another one with his name. It's like, I'm like, I can't even keep up. It's just like, what the hell?
Well,
these are the kind of, I don't know.
He's another one he's an emotional mess, obviously, too, right?
Yeah.
And he does a lot of drinking too. So I'm sure he flies off the handle when he's drunk. A lot of people do that. And then all of a sudden, when he's sober, he kind of like, tries to reverse all that. So he's back and forth, back and forth. He's kind of crazy.
Yeah, so we lost David. I wasn't sure if he had David Neff. I wasn't sure if he wanted to say something or whatever. But anyway, yeah. So this Christian value shit is just they kind of use it for whatever purpose they need it for, right? Rather than yeah. Anyway.
And also, I mean, how about praise in his allowing that the Baptist Chad Will kid, 15-year-old kid, and he's got administrative powers on Praise's channel.
Yep.
How crazy is that?
I know.
And Praise was covering for him.
I don't think it's Praise's channel.
Well, it's not.
It's Gavin's channel.
Well, all about that, right? The reason being is that I think Praise couldn't afford it financially. And a lot of that has been going back and forth, right?
I went back there yesterday, so we had a good talk with Praise, me and Randolph Richardson, and he took away Gavin's administrator rights.
Yep.
And so yesterday he was on a rant about Smokey, and I clipped it, and he read part of the Bible that everything is done in the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit is there to lift people up, and not to burn people down. And that was his criticism of Smokey. So I thought, well, this is a good time to jump in, because I knew that he had given Gavin his administrator rights back.
Right. Yep.
The moment I mentioned that, Gavin started messing with me, over-talking me, muting me, and finally kicking me out of the room. So I'm pretty sure it's not Praise's channel. It's Gavin's channel. Praise has nothing to say about what goes on that particular channel.
Right.
Yes.
You know why, right? So what happened, right, was this is going way back, off and on. Gavin was paying for Praise's monthly fee for his whatever the StreamYard, right? What is that? That's like $40 a month, right? And there was one of them that was like $25 a month, I think. And Gavin was paying that for a certain amount of time, but also Standing for Poop there was doing that also. So it was back and forth. Standing was doing it for quite a while, and he had basically major control. If you look way back, if you go back like 6 months ago, you could really see Standing would come in, and he was kind of like running it, but not really. Like he was really putting his foot in it because he was paying the monthly fee. And then somehow Gavin got changed and Gavin did it or something. So I'm not sure exactly, who was paying what at what point, but they were both doing that.
I don't know. So Standing was there when we had our talk with Praise. And Praise said that he wanted to clean up the channel. Standing was all for that. And I still can have a decent conversation with Standing. I still can have a decent conversation with Praise. But to me, it's really obvious. Praise isn't allowed to do things on his own channel. And I don't think Standing's behind it. But it would really surprise me that to find out that Standing would push this kind of bullshit on Praise, because he's not doing the Christians a favor. It's a troll channel, and if atheists go there, they're being trolled.
Yeah.
And Praise will just back off, say nothing. And that happened yesterday. I had to ask him a couple of times, are you still here? Because he didn't respond anymore at some point. It was just Gavin talking. So I don't think it's his channel anymore. And he's going to ruin his channel. He's going to ruin. And I know this because I was dumb enough to do the same thing when I started out. So a lot of theists won't come on my channel anymore because of what I did in the past. And I'm trying to fix that. But yeah, just a bunch of trolls. Not worth mentioning or going there, I think.
Yeah. too many dynamics in this, right? I mean, there's too much. There really is, and it between Christians and atheists, you try to mix them. Like you said, you go back 8-10 months ago, a year ago, it was great. There was a lot of interaction, and a lot of these channels were doing really good. And now it's just, it's terrible. It's gone to shit, really. So
I think Speed summed it up pretty well when he said, "I felt like I'm getting cancer."
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jay said, with all the nicotine you've ingested, this is giving you cancer. It's like, yep, Smokey gives me cancer. I was trying to figure out the connection between Will Kincade and Smokey Saint, because I just can't fathom what that marriage is about. Because Smokey is like down on reprobates, and Will Kincade is like, I mean, he's kind of like Satan, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a little whacked out of his skull. Do you hear their plans? Or at least Will is saying that, according to Will, him and Smokey are going to start going after really big cheese, like real some of these channels that have 100,000 subscribers rather than these little channels. That's what he claims. He says that's supposedly him and Smokey have this big plan, and that's what they're going to do. So
it's going to look like a fly landing on a big dog.
Yeah,
it's going to have the exact same effect as well.
It's funny. Will said, "I'm on his radar now." For one comment that I made today, Rage had a stream going, right, and so I'm on that, and I'm just listening to his stream, and then all of a sudden, a notification came up, and I'm not even subscribed to Smokey's channel, but I've been on it so much, of course, it pops up, right? So it pops up, and he's live. So I click on it while I was at the same time, and there's Will saying crap about Rage at the while he's going on, right? So I write in Rage's chat, I said, he's talking shit right now. And of course, Will sees that and says, "Oh, you're on my radar now." And it's like, oh, that goddamn drama. It's ridiculous.
Well, Will Kincade struck me as somebody that just wanted to get on and say crazy ass shit. Like, he reminds me of that crazy guy in Dead Man on Campus, where he just gets in and he's a comedian, and he says funny stuff. And I think his humor is great, actually. But I mean, he didn't seem to have any real agenda at all. And then he hooks up with Smokey, who believes that his job is to bring people to heaven and to, do whatever he has to do to get himself into heaven. And one of the comments I made last night is that, okay, because Smokey is hooked up with Will Kincade, when Smokey gets to the pearly gates, he had better have a goddamn good lawyer to explain why he was cooked up with Will Kincade. Because I don't think it's going to go over well. It's just like, what are they? I don't understand the connection, because Will Kincade is not a Christian, as far as I can tell. But yet,
right. He's a Jew.
Yet Will is going to come after you because you made I don't understand what's going on. I don't know.
Well, it sounds like Will Kincade seems to, his agenda is that basically he wants to show off his skills on navigating the internet. I mean, obviously he's been on the internet for a really long time. Right. He goes way, way back. And if you listen to him, it's like he wants to show off his skills on being able to basically completely destroy somebody, anybody he chooses to. If somebody says anything about him, or if somebody, makes a video about him, whatever the case may be, he wants to show off his skills to be able to basically destroy that person and embarrass them so bad, or tear down their channel if they have a channel, and force them off the internet. That basically what his agenda is right now.
Has he done that successfully? I mean, how much power do these people think they have?
He claims he has. I don't know. I don't know that much about him, really. I mean, just based on all the crap that's, because he's hooked up with Smokey and it's kind of more a part of this community. Well, he's been around for a while. Him and Rage were buddies for a while. If you go back a year, they were buddies, and then
they actually set Smokey up.
Yeah. It's like I said, there's so much dynamics. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's too bad that it turns into that. It's too bad because it used to be good. Like people used to have good conversations and disagreements and stuff like that, and all that stuff was good, and there was really great conversations. But when it gets into this crap, then it's a shame to see them behave that way. People behave that way,
It's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
So I wonder if I can find this video. I have too many videos open. Okay, so Intro to Vaccines by Creation Myths. I put a link in the description. That's something I haven't watched yet, but everybody needs to watch this because we need to know more about this vaccine, particularly with the number of people that are vaccine. Like one of my sister's friends told her yesterday that I'm not getting the vaccine because the government can control you through the vaccine or something. I have no idea what she was talking about, but that was interesting. It's like, what the hell?
But there's another 2 streams I think people should check out. One's on Ross' channel, the other one's on Scientist Mel's channel, and that's where Doc Savage talks about it. Doc Savage actually worked on the vaccine here in Holland. He's a consultant for the World Health Organization, as far as I know. And so those are 2 streams if you really want to know the ins and outs about the vaccines. Go watch them. He's been on my channel as well. We talked a little less about the whole vaccine stuff because I knew that he was going to be on a few channels. And if you like Speed, I can ask him whether or not he wants to pop on here and talk about it a little.
Cool.
I want to do that.
So, Scientist Mel, and what was the other channel?
Aaron Raw.
Oh, Aaron Raw. Okay. How could I forget that?
Yep.
Yeah. Bond just put in the side chat. He's great. He's an awesome guy to talk to. Really friendly guy. Wants to help out people if he has the time. Yeah. But he's definitely the guy to talk to. He's a virologist.
He had a long chat, and it was a while ago. It was probably at least a month, maybe going back 2 months. And like Doubting Thomas was saying, and I thought it was on Jay's channel, I think.
Yeah, he's been on Jay's channel a few times talking about the pandemic and vaccines.
It's possible. He's been around because he wants to get the decent message out. So, but he's a great guy. I've been friends with him since he had done his show with Scientist Mel or Audacity. But great guy to talk to, and knows pretty much everything there is to know about the coronavirus and the vaccine.
Yeah.
And I'll shoot him a message, Speed, see if he wants to come on here.
Yeah, Speed. I think you would love that. I think he's really good. He's very informative. He, like you said, on the stream that I watched, he had a long conversation about the virus and how the vaccines were being developed. And I think actually that was going back before the vaccines were even finished. I don't even think they were distributing them. The stream that I saw, and I believe, and it was really good.
Okay. Yep. And I can't find the video that I want. Damn.
How many windows you got open?
40 or 50 probably. I had a nightmare the other night that I was on that we were doing Saturday Night at the Atheist, and I had too many Chrome tabs open and all my screens went black, and I was running around trying to fix them and stuff, and And I think that's actually happened to me once or twice too. But I actually woke up dreaming about YouTube and being on this channel, and I thought maybe I need a break.
We have a lot in common. I think I have more windows open right now than you have.
Yeah. I used to have this thing open, and then I screwed it up somehow. So anyway, we can talk about anything else, I guess, because I have no idea what I did. So dead air.
Whenever you say we can talk about anything else, that's going to silence the room. I found that out myself. That's inevitable.
So what should I say instead?
Mayonnaise or Miracle Whip?
Oh, okay. Miracle Whip. There you go.
All right.
I'm Dutch. I'm firmly in the mayonnaise camp.
Mayonnaise. Miracle Whip needs to just go.
Or as the news broadcaster in Arkansas when I grew up said, it's Miracle Whoop. But
Miracle
Whoop.
Miracle.
In Holland, mayonnaise is a food group. Just saying.
I can understand that.
It might even be considered a basic human right.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
Miracle Whip it's an abomination.
That's right. That's what happens when you get corporate scientists assigned to making food.
Yeah, I don't know what the chat is going on in the side chat there, but they're talking about offering to pay the roof over G-Man's head. Are they talking about Doc Savage said that, or I'm trying to figure that. Is that yeah?
Yes, Doc Savage offered to pay for
college class,
whatever, couple things.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I think that was back when people had messed with his job and G-Man got fired.
Oh yeah.
So that really happened?
Yes. A couple of people made up a character called Gary Richway. And Gary Richway was Look a Pig, Red's Rhetoric, Bullionator, 82 Productions, and Steve McGray was in the background orchestrating everything. And they finally got G-Man fired from his work. Yeah, that happened.
Wow.
And they did a stream about 6 months ago where they all admitted in what happened and who played what particular role. But they called his job a couple of times. So yeah,
that's nasty. When Ian did that debate on MDD with was it Hovland? Yeah, no, it was with Nephilim, right? Yeah, Neph or Age Quit. I guess somebody tried to nail Ian at his job over that, which was kind of amazing. He got a letter basically that there was a complaint.
I've had it with I don't think I think maybe people have heard of him, Dean Esme. He's now
I've heard of him.
He's now pretending to be Max Colby, Red Pill Religion. I had him on my channel, and then he had one of his goons try to do some research, and he couldn't find me. So they concluded that I was probably some kind of tenured professor with most likely not more than one PhD, but they couldn't find me. I thought it was a pretty good compliment, actually. Considering that I'm not a professor and I don't have any PhDs, the fact that they thought I did, and that was nice.
It is a bit flattering.
Yeah, it's a compliment. Yeah. Yep.
Well, at least I scared them, probably, because why would you want to look up where I live? And I've been vocal about this. I mean, It's not hard to find me if they wanted to. Because I basically
I have no idea I have no idea what this chat is about. Pineapples? How do we get the pineapples from me?
Pizza on pineapple debate.
Yeah, if you're done talking about mayonnaise, then first thing comes up is pineapple on pizza.
Yeah. Another abomination.
I think what started it was when Bond, I think, said one way to get a conversation going is ask about pineapple on pizza.
Yeah,
that was after we did the mayonnaise thing.
What CRISPR debated jungle jargon
about pizza and pineapples? No.
Oh, I don't know.
No, they did.
I doubt it was that.
Yeah, they had a conversation on Praise's channel. It wasn't about pizza or pineapples. Well, maybe that came up. I don't know, actually.
Well, that was on the mitochondrial DNA, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
That was
he tried. Jungle tried to have a conversation with me on Praise's channel, and then Gavin felt left out a bit, so he basically overtalked Jungle and asked the question, and then I said, I'm not going to answer your question. You're not worth my time. And that pissed off what was the other guy? Rob? Who's
Bob, maybe? Or Gotha?
Yeah. Yes. And he got pissed off that I didn't want to answer Gavin, so he asked me the same question, and I said, I'm not letting you force me to talk to Gavin. You can pretend that that's your question. We all heard that was Gavin's question, and I refused to answer it. And then he started asking Randolph the same question, and Randolph said, well, I'm really interested in what Jungle has to say, because I was interested in that conversation.
Right.
So
I saw that.
They all got very pissed off, and so we just left.
Yeah, I actually was watching one of those real long streams and was going through it, trying to find a little bit of content for you, Speed. And I actually time-stamped a bunch of stuff, but that was a few days ago. There was some interesting things. Oh, Gotha, boy, he says some pretty crazy stuff.
He does. So you should send me the timestamps, and I'll queue them up.
Yeah, you gotta, I gotta sit down with you sometime, and I'd be glad to do that kind of stuff for you. I enjoy trying to, contribute whatever I can, but I have no clue what I'm doing. I just have to write it down because I'm computer illiterate, so I'm not all that good at it.
Well, you've got that little program that you pay $2.99 a month for. If you're up for that.
Yeah, you talked about that. I really should do that. I mean, if you, I'm not trying to I don't want to bring garbage either, so that's all. But I do write it. I wrote a bunch of stuff down and, I wrote down the timestamps. There was one, Algotha they were talking about AI and Elon Musk and, the end times, and it was pretty funny. It was actually comical on one of Praise's streams. That was just the other day. That was funny.
Yeah. I love listening to Argatha try to talk science. He gets into genetics once in a while, and it's really fun to listen to him because he's a rich vein of satire when it comes to that stuff. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. He says some pretty crazy stuff.
It's crazy.
He's
now, doesn't Jungle Jargon have some deal about the Y chromosome?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I was just about to mention that when he was just talking about Jungle.
Something I must have been the South Cordova thing from the other day, and I just looked over in the side chat. And Jungle Jargon, I think, has said, who knows their Y chromosome, which I thought was the weirdest question in the world.
Yeah.
And I thought, he's going to go into some special spiel he has about that, because I've heard he's kind of hung up on the Y chromosome.
He is. As a matter of fact, I was going to mention that, and that was one of the timestamps that I actually did. And it's funny, he talked about that, and he basically revealed it to everybody, and he says, the only reason why I like that is because it proves lineage back to Noah's Ark, or Noah and his family. It's like that's the only reason why I'm really interested in that.
Was that Jungle Jargon?
Yeah, he just said that the other day in a stream.
He ties that into. I've heard him actually talk about haplogroups too. I think.
Yeah.
Which was hilarious.
Yeah, I know.
He did an entire stream about how the Y chromosome leads back to Noah.
Yeah,
it was the title of the stream as well.
Yeah.
Does he have a YouTube channel?
Yes.
Jungle?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I will have to check that out.
There's not. I don't know what kind of content you're going to find there, though.
Well, I'm interested in his.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he puts out much of his own content, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
He's live regularly.
Okay.
And
now that he's retired, he must be.
Yeah, but if you're asking about content, we would have to make a definition about what can be seen as content.
Right.
Can be seen.
We're talking comic content, right?
Oh, I forgot something. I forgot something really important. So Andrew, rational empiricist Andrew Cumming, went on Neff's stream the other day, and Neff booted him, and that was the first time he'd ever been booted from a stream. So he was really proud of himself that he finally got booted from, because he is so polite that this is the first time anybody's ever booted him. But Neff booted him over the second law of thermodynamics, and then Neff ended the stream about 2 minutes later. It was kind of comical, but that was just a recent Nephilim free stream.
Right.
It was called Evolution is Stupid or something like that. I don't know.
Is that the same
I put a link to Jungle's channel in the private chat here.
Okay.
If there are people who like to suffer, I will put it in the public chat as well.
Right.
People want to go there.
Oh, I love suffering.
Speed, was that the same stream that Andrew came on and was talking about? Was that the same one?
I think it was a different one. It was a newer one. It was like from, I think it was from Sunday night or something.
So that happened after that.
Yeah.
That whole,
it was a recent one. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And he was so excited. He actually called me because now he's in the club. He's been booted from the stream. So he's happy about that.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever been booted from a stream, but then again, I don't go on streams to argue or anything.
You just got booted. Scott just got booted.
There you go, Scott.
I've been booted from a few.
What? I did? There I am.
I put you back.
Okay. All right. I've been booted.
There's an interesting video on Jungle's channel, because I wasn't aware that was a thing, but he has a video up there about Y chromosome family names. I didn't know that was a thing, but you might want to check that one out.
Is that the almost every Y chromosome identified?
I have no clue what it's
different
about.
One? No, I mean, is that the name of it?
We've gone on in the side chat to defining tacos.
Oh, good. Defining tacos. Where's Danny when we
taco?
Where is Danny when we need him? Because Danny would get in. What do you mean by taco?
Are you a taco realist or a taco emergence?
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure, but going off of the last stream that I was on where Danny was present, he's somewhere in a harness and a ball gag, probably.
Yeah, I've got to look at that Saturday Night at the Atheist. There's a part that I hear that I should be clipping out, that I may end up editing it. Him and Leo.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a few comments there. Yeah.
I sent Leo a picture. Leo hasn't responded back to me yet.
Oh, you sent him a picture?
Yeah, a picture of Danny.
Boy, he's got a whole bunch of stuff about the Y chromosome. This guy is obsessed with it. Jungle Jargon. Holy shit. Oh, I've checked this out. I didn't even I guess I knew he had a channel at one point, but I forgot. So I didn't realize he was doing stuff
on that channel that you're not aware of, that you didn't want to know.
Didn't want to know. Yep.
Yeah.
He had a long conversation about he just went to the doctor and got a clean bill of health, and he talked all about his he was talking about his medical stuff, that he got a clean bill of health, and some of the health workers that he's been dealing with, some of the therapists or whatever that he's been dealing with, one of them got fired or left and all. Yeah, he had a long conversation about that the other day too. So
did they evaluate him cognitively?
I don't know. I mean, he had schizophrenia in the past.
Did they person, woman, man, camera? Did they do that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Schizophrenia was what led him to Jesus. That's what he told me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was he one of the people that were saying that Jesus cures schizophrenia?
No, that was in the time that he didn't have any medication. So he was seeing all kinds of things, all kinds of visions, and that led him to Jesus. The visions stopped pretty much when he got medication.
Yeah. Back in my youth, we had this wonderful antidepressant called Navin, I think it was. No, not Navin. Was it Navin? I forget what the hell the name of it was. But I used to, if you take one of them, you felt kind of like really, really just wonderful. Like you just felt like you were just rolling around in a blanket. So, of course, me being who I am, I took a handful of them, right? and it would actually give you these amazing hallucinations. Like you would see people that weren't there. You would not see things that were there. And there were people talking to me constantly in the background, like my kid and my ex-wife were talking to me, and I'd turn around and respond to them, and then they weren't there, and I'd realize, oh God, I'm hallucinating. And it was really interesting because I got to experience what I think schizophrenic hallucinations are. So of course I took 2 handfuls. It was very, very interesting time in my life. My friend was on these antidepressants, and I managed to talk a doc. I could go to a psychiatrist back in the 70s and get any drug I wanted just by faking symptoms. And they'd say, oh, well, you need a prescription for this, and they'd give you the prescription. But it was the interesting thing about hallucinations is that they are not eidetic, like one would think. I mean, you're convinced of them for a certain period of time, but you kind of know the difference. It's just that they keep creeping up on you, and they keep happening over and over again, and you can get into them. And I'm not sure if schizophrenics engage in a hallucination for a long time, like hours at a time, or not. I listened to one schizophrenic talk about seeing angels, and he described them as appearing, but then they were kind of ephemeral. They would disappear right away. So I think you kind of know when you're hallucinating. But
my father has Parkinson's.
Okay.
And he hallucinates, and sometimes he knows when he's hallucinating, and sometimes he doesn't.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. All I can say, Speed, is thank goodness you stopped doing that. And how the hell did you survive all that? I don't know.
I have no idea.
It is amazing.
But I was driving home, and my wife and my kid were in the backseat talking to me the whole way home, and they weren't with me. And I went to this garbage dump, and I was having conversations with them. And like we used to go to garbage dumps and look for things back in the day, right? So it was kind of like something I did on the way home from work when I was stoned on this drug, having taken a handful of them. And my wife and kid were there talking to me the whole time. And there were these other people at the dump, and they ran away from me because I was talking to people that weren't there, right? So then I like drive all the way home, and I get in the door, and my real wife is there. And of course, she realizes how stoned I am, and she got really pissed off at me. And I can't remember what was said or whatever, but then I went and laid down. And then all of a sudden I heard her calling me from down in the basement. And we had this trap door that opened up to the basement on this farmhouse. And I thought, oh boy, she's not mad at me anymore. She wants to talk to me. So I run over there and I open the trap door and I'm having a conversation with her down at the bottom of the steps, and she's really not mad at me anymore. And then from behind me, my real wife said, "Who in the fuck are you talking to?" And I realized, that was a hallucination wife down there, and the real wife is standing behind me, and she's still pissed. Yeah, I had some experiences with that drug. It was amazing. But
How
it's good to
survive it. That's what
I have no
shocked. Like, I mean, based on what you're saying, like some of that stuff, I'm surprised it didn't kill you.
There were a lot of bets made against me surviving past 24 years of age. There was a lot of talk. About half of those people that bet against me are dead right now. Fuck them all.
Wow.
But I mean, I'm really grateful that I went through all of that, because I have a lot of information about what it's like to hallucinate and what it's like to do this and what it's like to do that. And now that I'm sober and leading a different life, I can use that information. And I just think it's remarkable to have that that library of experiences behind me, And
yeah. Well, when you do a lot of partying, that tends to bring with it a lot of experience, right?
Yeah.
So if you really, like you're saying, you really gather a lot of experience when you're doing that.
We will not regret the past or wish to shut the door on it. There
you go. That's very, very real to me. My kids experienced about 2 years of my using in their 16th and 17th year. And they won't watch, to give you some idea what it was like, they won't watch Shameless because Macy's character reminds them so much of me. that was the kind of, that was a level I got to, and it was, but I don't know, it was a gift. I think it was a gift. I would not change it or regret it in any way. I needed to go through all of that to be who I am right now. So, and I'm so different. I'm so different today, 14 years into the sobriety thing. So, but I don't know. Anyway, got a cell video up.
Yeah, what do we got here? Anything interesting?
Well, I may have played it before, but I just thought it was kind of telling. Let me see if I have to make sure.
Which one is this now?
Let's salivate.
Salivate. Nerd Talk, Irrational Empiricist. This is when Andrew and Immutable Destiny went on. And this is like later on, and I'm not sure if I played this part. I hope I haven't played this before. But this is the thing that really just irritates me about this guy. Now, he's talking about this nuclear import signal, which you can see in red up there. He's got it highlighted on this protein, and his whole spiel seems to be that it couldn't possibly have evolved. But anyway, he's got some interesting things to say, and let's see what you think. Whoops. Why can I not hear it? Nobody can hear it. There we go.
I feel that the evolutionary community should be addressing these questions too. Rather than just using a phylogenetic tree to say, hey, this proves it evolves, and they don't look at the problems that I've posed. That's the issue I've had, is that notwithstanding what you just pointed out, to make my argument more complete is to explore more proteins.
Foreskin.
The thing that I've seen with the evolutionary community, they don't even look at this.
Foreskin.
Somebody said foreskin. So you see my problem?
Can I just go on a rant?
Yeah.
I mean, every single time I hear people say that, the evolutionary community, that's not what it's called. It's called the scientific community. The fact that you want to give it a name to make it look that like we can just discredit what is happening, it doesn't work well. It's the scientific community that you're up against, not the evolutionary community. There's no such thing.
Right.
Just had to rant because it's pissing me off when they use that.
Ian, you heard what he said, right? He said, well, the evolutionary community won't even look at what I'm proposing. Well, there you go, Sal. Why do you think that is true? Because you have an agenda. Science does not have an agenda. And there's your problem right there, Sal.
Because it's not an evolutionary community, it's a scientific community. And if what you're presenting is not scientific, they're not going to look at it. It's that easy.
Right, that too. But obviously he's, you're just presenting your bias, Sal. That's what you're doing. And science doesn't want anything to do with that. That's the problem.
To make matters worse, he says that, they're not looking at this nuclear import signal, right? Or nuclear localization signal. It's called an NLS. And it took me 15 minutes to download 20 papers where they did just that. And he's misrepresenting the science itself, because he claims that this entire sequence of like 28 amino acids has to be there, right, in order for it to get imported into the nucleus. And that is not the case. Only a few of those amino acids are in that nuclear localization signal. And I just looked at a paper today that said there are 4 other signals in that protein that also get it into the nucleus at varying rates. And there's a real problem with cancer treatment right now, because they have some drugs that block that signal so that they can kill the cancer cells, and it keeps leaking in various ways. But his whole point is, this couldn't possibly have evolved. And he says that without that signal, the cell would die, right? Well, they're trying to kill cancer cells, and they can't, because this signal is like very, very easily evolved, and there are like 3 or 4 of them in these topoisomerases, and they get in anyway. So he's saying that basically they're not looking at the other proteins. Now he thinks he's the only person in the world that has looked at this NLS signal, and for some reason he has not gone out and Googled how did the NLS evolve, which I did, and found 20 papers.
Yeah, that's one step in the process where he's just he has just abandoned his duty. If he's any kind of scientist or science self-educator, you look up the literature. You don't just blanketly say, I've never seen it, therefore they've never investigated this. You go in and you look up that topic, and you gather together all the research that's been done on it. Then you read it. Then you open your mouth about it.
So
you must only look at Otangelo's cat scored.
Am I right or wrong here? Sal says they're not addressing this. And what is he actually doing? I mean, all he's doing is pointing out, issues or different things that we're trying to solve or we don't have answers to. Is he actually trying to address those issues and solve those problems? It sounds to me like he's just presenting problems and not really presenting anything else. He's not presenting actual science to speak of or solutions, right? Am I right?
The claim he made is that they've only looked at these phylogenetic trees, and they've never looked into these proteins. I mean, every single piece of every protein is and has been looked into, just at great detail. That's what these guys are doing, and most of it is driven by medicine. By the need to find cancer cures and things like that. But I mean, the literature is all over.
Right.
And it drives me crazy that he says they're not addressing my concerns and they should look at this. And it's like he's the only one that's looked at it. It's almost like he's in a vacuum, He's all by himself, and he doesn't realize how much of this stuff is being looked into.
Right. Yeah.
And living under a rock.
Living under a rock, yeah. But on purpose. Living under a rock on purpose, right?
Right. Like you said, Speed, he's been doing this for a long, long time. I mean, way back in his college days, look what he did. He's just has that agenda. He's just trying to push creationism. That's what he's doing. So of course nobody wants anything to do with you. Because it's just not science, Sal.
So Stefan Mudd, a new study, 2017, uncovers a potential mechanism may allow zinc finger domains in metazones to recognize and bind, to virtually any DNA sequence. I'd like to, if you got a link to that paper, I have not looked at that particular one. I'd like to, if you can give me a link, please. But yeah, it's just this willful ignorance, this is complicated. How could that have happened? That sort of thing. Well, it is complicated and we don't know exactly how it happened, but damn, we know a lot. And when you start looking into it, their complaints are just weak. They don't land. And it kind of drives me crazy. And I'd have to sketch out the, and I will do more on this nuclear import thing because, like I say, Cell is he's in my sites. And this is the thing he talks most about. So apparently we're going to tussle over this one.
Okay, did you see the video where he talked about this Ortolini something principle? I can't remember the name of it, but where it takes more man hours to research a falsehood than it does the truth or something like that. And it sounds almost like my irony meter is going to explode when he says that, because I've had to dig into, papers that he's quoted or laughed at or whatever to find out what it's really saying when, when he was just misinterpreting it. And same for his buddy Emery as well. And
it's right here.
Yeah.
It's called Brandolini's Law. And dishonest debate time.
I was close.
Yeah.
I think it stems from a need. I don't know if they're dishonest or what, but they need to know for sure. They can't say I don't know. They need to have absolute certainty.
Yep. You're right there.
And if they can't find it, they make it up.
Right. And it's kind of like it just reminded me of what you were saying earlier, Speed, about like you want to come to grips with your death, with your own death. Like I think we all do, right?
Yep.
And they, for some reason, some people can't say I don't know. They have to know. They have to know that God is there. They have to know they have the absolute truth, right?
Yep.
And
absolutely.
I'm not there.
Oh shit, guys! 30 to 60 minutes are going to have a reading from the jury. I'm 14 miles away from that shit. Yeah, and I know people who live down there. My friend's daughter lives down there. Boy, I hope things are okay today.
Maybe you need to open your house up to refugees.
Probably, I'm gonna have to watch the yard too.
So I have a question too. Like Sal says, they're not addressing what I'm presenting. Who's he expecting to address it? Who?
I know that's the other thing is who's listening to Sal.
Right. What?
Me.
I don't understand that. Well, yeah, you. But who else? Is he talking about the YouTube community, or what the hell? Who's he talking about?
I mean, if you want somebody to address them, I'm right here, Sal. Right here. That's why the chicken is in my video icon. Buck. You run away like a toddler from a pop balloon. It's like, come on, bring it on. We'll talk about it. We can get into depth. And the truth of the matter is that I would probably help him refine his spiel if he actually engaged me on it. And he can do it in chat or email or however he wants. Doesn't have to do it. I don't really want to talk to the son of a bitch in person anymore, but we go back and forth with videos or whatever. But please respond, for Christ's sake. Anyway.
Yeah. That's the other thing that's kind of stinks about the community is it's too divided. Like, I mean, look at, Ontangelo has the courage to come in here. A few other Christians have the courage to come in here every now and then. And the same thing with, you look at Matt X's channel or, any of the other Christian channels, the same thing. Certain atheists will go in there and have chats here and there. But you just can't, because it always, what happens? It turns into a fight. Somebody will either get booted or muted and that kind of sucks, that it can't be a little bit better.
Yep, I managed to piss him off somehow, and I'm not even sure how I did it, but now now he won't even mention my name. Calls me he who cannot be named or whatever.
Right. Oh yeah, you definitely, he definitely has a problem with you. He's definitely afraid. I'm gonna say it outright. He's afraid.
Yeah, well, if he keeps being afraid, I'm just gonna keep turning up the heat. And it's my fault, a lot of it too. I mean, I did it as much as his. Whatever the falling out was between us, me, I can't keep my mouth shut. So I am complicit. But and like I say, I don't even want to talk to him directly. I just want to go back and forth. And somebody is responding to you, you son of a bitch. Fire back. Bring it on. So far, he hasn't really said much other than it's so complicated it couldn't possibly have evolved.
Yeah, I don't know shit about it, but like you said, when I listen to his stuff, that's about what you get out of it. It's so complicated. There's no way that this could happen.
Yep.
That's pretty much it.
Anyway, we'll do more.
Yeah.
As time goes on.
He's not presenting shit. So Sal, you gotta, if you ever listen to this, you gotta present something.
Well,
somebody will listen.
His boy Emery will listen to it and go back to him and fire him up some more. Like Emery listen. He's the one that fired him up about the degree thing, I think, and he's the one that fired him up about the little comment that John Peterson made that I deleted from the video that kind of kicked this off. And Emery goes and fires him up, but he apparently doesn't bring the science part of it to him. I don't know, because I truly think Sal does not watch these streams. So
I think, I think he's gone away from that now. He used to all the time, but I think he's definitely gone away from that. And believe it or not, I think Danny might have been the one that brought. Danny's the one who brought.
Oh yeah,
up.
Danny. Yeah, Danny brought the degree thing to him. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Danny. Well, Danny was pissed because that was when I banned him. For 3 days. Yeah.
And the funny part about it is that the way Danny presented it, like we talked about, it was like nobody was saying that he didn't have a degree in certain things. We were just talking about it, and we were trying to figure out. People were putting their opinions in of what they knew, and that's what it was about. Nobody was saying that he didn't have a degree in certain things. And basically, Danny presented that like that, like that's what was said, and that's not what was said.
Yeah.
So, interesting.
It's also interesting.
Yeah.
The dynamics of our little YouTube community. Kind of cool.
Well, there you go. There's emotions was all a part of that, right? I mean, Danny was pissed off, like you said. He was pissed off at this channel. He was pissed off at you. And he goes and presents that to Sal. And he basically misrepresented it, I think. I mean, I think that's not what was said. He misrepresented it to Sal because he was all emotionally butthurt.
Yep.
And look what happens. Yep.
Pretty cool.
Yep.
So Emery Moyna's been busy. He's got biblical conservation, debunking sentinel apologetics, oxidative predation damage, and the biblical resurrection. What the fuck?
What's that? Is that his channel? Or?
Yeah, Emery Moyna. Hang on a second here. Let me share. I got to check on him.
I've never checked on his channel. I got
to check on it. Oh, he's got some juicy things on his channel.
Yeah,
it's really kind of fun. Why? Oh, it's called In His Image. That's what his channel's called.
Me. Yeah. As a matter of fact, maybe I did check on it once, and I was like,
"Yeah, look at this."
Never.
So the woke church isn't a fad. Oxidative predation, damage, and biblical resurrection. What the hell? This guy's a piece of work. He's the one that's working on a master's. Sexual selection. Wow. Oh God, this is a gold mine for people who want to get some timestamps of some bullshit. Living as a persecuted people, the coming storm. Oh my God.
Is that him right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's bueno.
I've never seen him show his face, so I didn't know if that was him or not.
That's a pretty good image right there of him,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what little bit I've heard of him, he really he says some pretty wild stuff.
Yeah, real paranoid.
I like the
yes.
I like the third title on the bottom, Debunking Darwin Day.
Yeah.
Debunking Darwin Day?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Give us truth. And he's got feathered dinosaurs. He goes after biologos, inspiring philosophy. The evolution virus infects WLC. A Christmas Veggie Tales creator misunderstands history. Relative and absolute.
He's not a young Earth creationist.
Days Without Sun.
Apologia had him on a while back. It was very interesting. You had to go look it up.
Oh, he's not a young Earth creationist?
No. I think he's an old Earth creationist, but he's a Christian. He's an evangelical Christian, but he's not a young Earth creationist. So obviously he can't be a real Christian.
Why does he get along with Cell so much?
He doesn't.
Oh, are you talking about Emery Moyna?
I'm talking about the guy who invented VeggieTales.
Oh, okay.
He mentioned VeggieTales creator.
Yeah.
I thought y'all were talking about him, and so I was just mentioning that Paulogia did a great. It wasn't really an interview; it was just kind of they teamed up together on his channel, on Paulogia's channel, and talked about some of the issues with the young Earthers and all that.
Yeah.
Speed, can you put a link to that channel in the private chat?
Sure, I'll put it in the public chat. How about that?
All right, even better.
Okay.
Yeah. Emery's a young Earth, though, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He definitely is. So he's going after people who don't think as extreme as an extremist as him.
Look at this one.
Yeah.
He gets into my home turf here. He's going to talk. Yeah, he talks about social justice, and I think he's got some stuff. He always talks about the goats and the sheep. He calls anybody who's woke, a woke Christian, he calls them, are goats. And the sheep are, the wonderful pastors that believe in hellfire and brimstone and damnation. And the woke ones, are saying it's okay if a homosexual comes to my church or whatever. So he goes off on people that do that. What's that?
Did he get that from Ken Ham? That's one of the things Ken Ham.
He probably loves Ken Ham. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he does. You listen to him. I mean, what is he? He's just a whiner, right? That's all he does is whine. And wow. I mean, it's so hard to comprehend how these people think. I really have a hard time with that. Like, it's the way their brain works and the way they think and the way they see the world. It's like, wow. It's so different. It's so different. Yeah.
He had a title, Seminaries or Cemeteries. I still think that cemeteries are more popular because you see a lot more people going there.
Yeah, you do.
Could be me. Could just be me.
Okay, do gay Christians exist? That's got to be a good one. I mean, is it possible for a gay Christian to exist? Is it metaphysically impossible for a gay Christian to exist?
Well, are they real Christians though?
Yeah, they're not. That's obviously not real. Nor are the people that allow them their right to life. Yeah, he's pretty homophobic, and he's got a bunch of other problems. So, anyway.
Yeah, he's quite.
Oh my God, he's got a lot of stuff. Wow, holy shit! 2 years ago. I didn't realize he was around for so long. 4 years he's been around.
Wow.
That's interesting because he just came into Cell's channel not too long ago. But yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Creation Museum and the Ark Encounter.
Are they?
Ooh, shit. Hold on, guys.
I'm wondering, are they on the same church? I thought him and Sal might have gone to the same church, maybe. Or I could be wrong on that. Not sure. You know who's another interesting character who I would almost wanted to bring up a little bit is that Sandy Pigeon. You guys ever hear of him?
Never heard that name.
He's usually I don't think he goes on. Well, no, he does go on live streams here and there. Very little though. He's mostly in side chat. And what's interesting, or at least what I find interesting, is that he is, he's very vocal in side chat. And he's an ex-Navy SEAL. And he's very good friends with Sal. Him and Sal are good friends.
Who are you talking about?
That Sandy Pigeon, I think. Is
right. Yeah.
what he
Okay.
goes on. Yeah. I find him interesting.
He was on Cell's most recent stream, I think. He just did a thing with Sandy Pigeon, something like that.
Yeah. Hey, I never watched. Yeah, I saw that Sal was gonna do that interview or a stream or something with him. I actually wanted to watch it because, I really found that interesting. Oh, I'm getting a echo.
Oh, it isn't playing, is it?
No, but I was getting an echo though.
Oh, I just played it I mistakenly played it for a second, so I got rid of it.
Yeah.
Because I'm on my big monitor. So.
Yeah, I found him. He, like I said, Sandy Pigeon. He's a very very vocal guy, and I would say he's probably a fundamentalist. He's certainly deeply religious. And what kind of interests me was, you look at a Navy SEAL, right? To me, a Navy SEAL would have to be a very critical thinker, right? I mean, you do the shit that they do, your life is on the line. So you got to be, I'm not talking really about intelligence, but they do require you to have a certain intelligence, obviously. That's part of their training. You have to pass a certain intelligence test or an IQ test, I believe, or whatever, however they do it. But what I found interesting is that they obviously they are critical thinkers, right? Because you got to be able to think on the fly and make some, critical decisions. That's a part of your job. And if you listen to him, he's such a fundamentalist. To me, I have a hard time marrying those two. Not that a Navy SEAL can't be religious, but to go to the extremes that he seems like he's young Earth, he's all of that. So that's, to me, I have a hard time marrying those two together.
Well, there's two things required to understand evolution or to understand that the Earth isn't 6 years old. One of them is intelligence, and one of them is critical thinking, and the other one is a set of information, basically. And if you limit this set of information that you imbibe in science, you could believe all kinds of crazy shit like the Earth is flat, right? And then I think maybe another element of that is trusting in government and science in general, right? Like, there are people that think that science is all a bunch of bigoted capitalists working for the pharmaceutical industry, or trying to trying to feed them some sort of doctrine. It's like a conspiracy theory, right? So, but I don't know, if you're a Navy SEAL and you believe in conspiracies, that could be a problem, couldn't it?
That's what I mean. It's like, what does it take to be a young Earth creationist? To me, You're not really a critical thinker. At least that's my opinion. in to marry those two together. I mean, I see Iron Chariot. It says, Navy SEALs are not immune to religious indoctrination. I agree with that. I mean, I think everybody's susceptible to that, but to marry those two together, and I have such a hard time marrying those two together. I hate to even say the words, but I question whether he was actually a Navy SEAL. I mean, I'm sure he was. I'm sure, but there's a lot of people out there that claim they are and they're not too. So that's, I have to wonder, but who knows? Who knows?
Yeah,
I think the bigger problem is that for a lot of people, their religion is part of their identity. It's how they grew up, and then you can become a Navy SEAL and learn part of critical thinking, but you won't apply it to your own identity.
Yeah, right.
Because that's the scary part.
Right. He was probably very religious beforehand, became a Navy SEAL, learned the type of critical thinking he needed to be a Navy SEAL, and then just picked up on his religion after he got out or something. I mean, I guess that makes sense. That certainly makes sense, and you can understand. But like I said, I don't know, when I he's very vocal in chat and stuff, and I was like, how the hell does a Navy SEAL become a young Earth creationist? I'm like, the critical thinking it takes to be there. I couldn't figure that out.
Well, how does Cell Cordova do it?
I had a chat with PZ Myers, and we talked about Georgia Purdom, and so she's I forgot,
geneticist.
She's a geneticist, and she doesn't believe in evolution. And I told PZ Myers, I don't get it. You're in this education system, you're becoming a geneticist. How can you avoid learning about evolution? And he said there's literally a possibility where they can just avoid those classes and get points in different classes. So they will actively go out of their way and make sure that they don't learn about that particular part.
Yeah.
And just filter it out. And you can get a PhD in genetics and still deny that evolution is a fact. It's a weird thing, but it's possible.
Yeah, the biggest killer to me is like if you start reading a geology book, even a first-year geology book, or you start to look at rocks, how in the hell, and like Cell Cordova, he's trained in physics, and somehow he believes that the Earth is 6,000 years old. And if you study just a little bit of geology, you've got to believe that the entire books, all the books on geology are just pure bullshit in order to understand. And if you look at some of these rocks, with the folds and the amount of metamorphosis that they've gone through, and you think all that happened within 6,000 years, you've got to block out a whole lot of knowledge. And I think like what Cell Cordova does is he just says, well, that age of the Earth is not my field. Biology is, right? So he just, like, anything he hears about it just bounces right off his head, and it doesn't penetrate. And it's like, I don't know.
For me, it's not about believing; it's about understanding.
Yeah,
Science.
I came up today. I came up with a new theory. Because we know that 99% of all species that we're aware of that have existed are already extinct.
Right.
So if you want to fit all of that in a 6,000-year-old Earth, then how many? So we've got the species that are currently on the planet. We have to multiply that by 100 to get to the 1,000, maybe, to get to the number that actually existed. And then you have to consider over 6,000 years, how many animals would that have been? If we only stick to sea life, we would get so many animals in the oceans that alone would give us the flood. God didn't have to do anything because there was so many animals in the oceans that the levels rose and flooded the entire earth. I'm wondering when a Christian is going to come up with that.
And worse yet, they had to tumble out of the ark 2 at a time on top of a mountain, and the elephants rolled down the mountain and ran out and diversified into all the different species very quickly, and then had the time to not only diversify and leave fossils, but to go extinct. And it's like, what in the hell are they thinking? I mean, why that just doesn't add up for me, and I don't know why it adds up for them when they think about it. Or do they just purposely not think in those terms? They don't sit and they don't do what you did and multiply by 100. They just refuse to do that. I just have no idea.
You got 2 elephants who immediately had sex when they got off the ark and reproduced a couple of young ones who then ran over to India to become the Indian elephant, and the other ones ran over to Africa. It must have been quite a sight.
And then they ran up, to Canada where they became mammoths and all of that, and grew hair because it was cold.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. I don't know.
Good.
Yeah, it's hard to marry all that together, right? How they can just dismiss so much. But it's, and then you just think they're just so, like Sal, he's so emotionally invested into his religion. I guess that's the answer, right? They just
I'm still wondering. I'm still wondering what they ate, because after the flood, God said, "Now you can eat meat." So all vegetarian animals now became carnivores.
That's always
the
been
hell
my.
Did they?
Yeah,
What
I've
did
always
they
wondered.
eat?
I've always wondered, what did the carnivores eat when they got off the ark?
Yeah, how many species were on the ark just to not survive because they became food instantly when the ark landed?
Speaking of that, right? I was watching, I think it was actually on Praise's stream, a kid named Converse Contender.
Yeah.
Have you ever, I don't, he was a moderator on Modern Day Debate and everything. I don't know the gentleman that well, but from what I hear, very smart kid. And he had mentioned in side chat, was the weirdest thing I never heard of, that there weren't meat eaters before the flood. Yeah. And that's what he just wrote that in the chat, and I'm like, really? I've never heard that before.
Yeah,
and you haven't. So
no.
one of their arguments is that there was a lion that was used for, I think it was MGM who had a lion in their logo, and the lion refused to eat meat. So obviously
on principle or.
But
no, it's actually a thing. You can Google it. There was a lion who didn't eat meat.
But what did he mean? Did he mean like everybody, like animals, people, like
no one ate meat?
No, nobody ate meat before the flood, and that's what he claims.
No, yes,
I never heard that one until just the other day. Never heard that one before.
Okay, the lion's name is Jackie, or no? Let's see. Leo the lion.
Wait a minute. Isn't there? I may just really step in it right here. Isn't there scriptural evidence like that people ate meat before the flood? Isn't that in the Bible? Like weren't there specifically types of meat you weren't supposed to eat before the flood, or was that after?
I'm still wondering if there weren't. So if people didn't eat meat, in the flood, Noah was told that from the clean animals he needed to have 7 pairs. Clean animals are the animals you eat. So
yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that. Yeah.
Yeah. How did Noah know what the clean animals were if they never ate meat? It wasn't a thing before the flood.
That's interesting.
I got questions
So-
about the Bible too. Okay, what did they use for a Bible back before the flood? They didn't have one?
And
How did they get
They would have had the Torah, right? Or would they?
I don't know.
No. The
I'm not
Torah's after, right?
After the
Yeah, you
flood?
had to. Abraham
Yeah,
had to
yeah.
be born, and then Isaac, then Jacob, then
and
what's his face?
keep in mind.
Egypt.
Keep
Oh, yeah.
in mind, Moses had to write about his own death and everything that happened after it.
But did Moses come after the flood or before?
After.
After. Okay,
After?
so the
Somebody
Bible had
says
to come.
before. Somebody says before,
yeah,
somebody
after.
says after.
So what they use for the word of God before the flood?
There was no word of God.
Oh, is that why they had to make a flood? Because, well, I mean, if you didn't give them the owner's manual, how could you expect them to behave?
You got
So
good
here's
point.
the thing. If you're really going to dive into it, and you're going to dive into the Hebrew, the ones who created, and that is multiple, is the Elohim, which means multiple gods. El is the single, Elohim is the plural. Elohim created everything. And then further on in the Bible, it switches to El, and from El it switches to Yahweh. So there's a pantheon of gods, and they all try to make that into one God. And the Christians' excuse obviously is going to be because God is a Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So that's where the Elohim comes from, which isn't the case, because El still is single and the other one is plural, and they keep harping on that there's only one God. So how can one God be plural? It's not possible. It just doesn't work. The whole Trinity thing is an excuse to fit some of the things that have been said in the Bible, to just make it fit. But it doesn't work. At some point you've got Jesus on earth talking to God, and the Holy Spirit is present, and Jesus is asking God questions. So if Jesus is God, he's asking himself questions, waiting for answers while he's there, watching himself, asking himself questions that he doesn't know the answer to. It doesn't work. It's impossible.
So back to the meat thing. Where did the no eating meat come from? Is that in the Bible somewhere, or where did that come from?
The no eating meat only came from the statement that God said after the flood, now you can eat meat. So they deduced from that. So so before the flood, no one ate meat.
Okay, so that's actually in the Bible then, or that statement.
It's not in the Bible that everyone was a vegetarian. The only thing that is in the Bible is that God tells Noah and his people that now they can eat meat.
Oh, okay. All right.
And
So it did come from something. All right.
Yeah, and that would only apply to Noah and his family. It wouldn't imply that the animals didn't eat meat.
I know.
That's
the
not
thing.
fair.
That's the other. They just make shit up. Right?
Yes.
They have to make shit up to make everything fit, of course.
Well, if you got a few indications in your Bible and you have no clue what happened before, you have to make shit up in order to make it fit, because otherwise, why would God say now you can eat meat? The only reason is they never ate meat.
A little bit on the lion that wouldn't eat meat.
Another big problem is Adam and Eve ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. What if they ate from both trees? God couldn't have killed them, because the other one was a tree of life. So,
Didn't know about that one. Yeah, lots of little inconsistencies. I don't know.
Holy shit! I'm even more confused than I was.
Brainbug, they
confused.
disagree with everything that goes against what they think the Bible says. So, I'm pretty sure that you've heard that Tyrannosaurus had sharp teeth, but then fruit bats have sharp teeth. So sharp teeth could mean that you just ate fruit.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, they'll just make something up. I mean, you can make anything up, right?
Exactly.
And that's what they do.
I mean, if your entire worldview is surrounded around magic, you can magic everything into being. It's not a problem, because God could have done everything. So if he could have done everything, he did everything, and then you're done. You've got all the answers. Magic. That's it.
Why don't we just consider it like any other form of entertainment? The Bible, I mean, like, it's imaginary, of course, and don't need to consider it as real life at all. Or I mean, not at all, but I mean, there can be some things like that you can use in real life or something sometimes.
The problem is it's the big book of multiple choice. So in the Bible, there is, if a man has lain with a woman like he has with a man, then that's an abomination. And then there are verses that talk about two guys becoming a couple, which is not a problem at all. And it literally says that he loved him like some others loved their wives. So I think we've got a gay couple in the Bible. So I don't know. I have no clue.
So, I mean, we don't need to be wasting our time talking about it as if it was real. That's all I'm saying. Does it mean to be like any other form of entertainment?
Well, we know that a lot of it isn't real and couldn't have happened. So there's no reason to think that anything in the Bible is real, because if that would be the infallible word of God, then why are there so many errors in it?
We're really trying to say that people are using a Bible as like a cult setting more than that it's anything that we're.
But there are people who literally
explain. I don't know what I'm saying.
No, but there are people who literally believe everything that it says. So, and it starts out with God creating everything. Then there's light and there's no sun. And then there's plants and there's still no sun. But we do have days. We can only have days if there's a sun. And then on I think it was on day 4 when he finally thinks, damn, I forgot something. So now I need to create the sun and the moon. And then he calls the moon a light, which isn't a light. It's just reflecting. It's reflecting the sunlight.
Hey, there's a question in the chat about where's the gay couple in the Bible coming from?
I'm not sure if I saved that one.
Give me a minute. I'm on it.
All right.
1 Samuel 18 and 2 Samuel 1:26. Those are the verses that talk about gays. Let me hold on. So 1 Samuel 18 is Jonathan befriends David. After David had finished speaking with Saul, the souls of Jonathan and David were knit together, and Jonathan loved him as himself. And from that day Saul kept David with him and did not let him return to his father's house. Jonathan made a covenant with David because he loved him as himself. And Jonathan removed the robe he was wearing and gave it to David, along with his tunic, his sword, his bow, and his belt. So Jonathan stripped naked for David, who loved him like himself. It's obviously talking about a gay couple, and there's nothing wrong with it, except it's not allowed in Christianity, but you can't have that. And so we go to 2 Samuel 1:26, which is even worse. I grieve for you, Jonathan, my brother. You were very dear to me. Your love for me was wonderful, more wonderful than that of a woman. Now, what does that tell you? Just things to think about.
Dude, it was like a bromance.
There's a lot of good stuff in the Bible.
They'd go get pumped at the gym together.
There are verses that talk about cunnilingus. There are verses that talk about fellatio. There's a lot of fun things in the Bible too.
Why do we care so much about what other people like if it doesn't affect us?
I have no clue. To me, the only good reason would be, and that would be something that that pretty much every religion does. It makes you feel superior. It makes you feel better than the other people who don't have the support of the God that you believe in. And that, for me, that's the only reason.
Because it affects us in a sense. So if they start spreading and doing things that aren't helping society.
Well, obviously, you have to convert everyone to your particular religion because that's the good thing to do. And this is under the guise that I want to save you from going to hell. Bob told me that a few days ago on Appraisal's channel. And I told him, if that is what you're doing, I actually appreciate what you're doing. I'm not going to believe you right away, but at least that would be a good reason. If you really care about people and that is what you're doing, then fine. But I don't see that you've got the right to impose your rules on me as long as I'm not a believer. The moment I start believing the same shit that you believe in, you can tell me what the rules are, but not before that. And they shouldn't be allowed to put their rules on other people because we don't do that either. When you're an atheist, you can believe in all kinds of shit. You can believe that being gay is okay. You can believe that it's wrong. The only difference is you don't put your ideas as law for other people to follow. It just doesn't happen.
You could do that even if you're an atheist too. Anything goes, basically. Just as long as you're not a theist.
It doesn't happen because
what?
No, but it doesn't happen because what would be the gain? What would be your personal gain if you were an atheist and you were against gay people? What was there to gain if you converted other people to your way of thinking? Nothing. For the Christian, there's eternal life, and there's the glory of God, and there's the day of judgment when God will tell you you were a good boy because you converted people.
Well, it's more of a cult thing. It doesn't matter if you're a theist. You could be in a cult.
Yeah. By the way, hi, Otangelo. Why aren't you in here?
Oh, hi, Otangelo.
Suddenly, everything.
So we're trying to fight a bit against the cult in this of religion more than anything.
Several cults, I would say.
Well, it's like you fight against other people, religions imposing their will on people who aren't consenting to that belief or that practice. So you have to keep an eye on it because religions really think they have a right to rule the world, especially Christians and Muslim to a pretty good degree.
Yeah, Otangelo just said, we don't convert anyone, you convert yourself if you like. This is the part of Otangelo that I like, because I've talked to Otangelo for quite a bit, and that part has never come up. So I really respect that in him. But sadly, he's in the minority when it comes to that.
All right, should I piss you guys off? And since we were talking about the whole meat eating thing, guess what I'm having for dinner? I got a prime rib that I just cooked.
See?
So
Like a,
Aren't you-
Well, see, I'm
like a
already
roast.
hungry for tacos, so thanks a lot. Another
Yeah,
thing that I'm not going to have that I'm going to crave.
yeah,
Just keep in mind, you wouldn't have that if the flood never happened.
I
Just
know.
Think about that.
I'm back.
You're
Thank
back.
goodness.
What's happening?
Get Otangelo the link. Let him help us out a little with.
Oh, Tangelo's here?
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
Chat.
Or his faith is not about ruling the world.
Really?
It's about not going to hell, I think. I don't know.
Tell that to the Catholics and to the evangelical churches here in America and the governor, well, the legislature of Arkansas, all those fine folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Top dog. I saw you type in the cult can be about anything. So recently, Prince Philip died, which is the first time, at least in my lifetime, that a god has died. Because I've never watched an actual god die. There is a cargo cult that thinks that Prince Philip is God, and I still have to read up on what they've said about
Really?
him dying. Yes.
One of those two. Oh my God. How old was he?
I think it was wasn't he 99?
99 is what I heard.
Yeah, he looked pretty old. Oh yeah, there was something about him dying of the vaccine or something that I saw yesterday. There's some conspiracy about he got the vaccine. That's what killed him. Not being 99 years old. I mean, that wouldn't kill you, right?
I honestly don't know. So, the Prince Philip movement is a religious sect followed by the Custom people around the villages of Yohanan and Yakul on the southern island of Tanna in Vanuatu. It's a cargo cult of the Yohanan tribe who believe in the divinity of Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh.
Oh my.
Yep. So God
So a
died.
cult can be about theistic things, but it doesn't have to be. That's cleared up.
Oh.
Whoops. Devil made me do it.
Yeah.
The devil made me do it. We're about wrapping up for the day.
Wait, Otangelo just got here. Otangelo, help us out. How did Noah know about clean animals if he wasn't allowed to eat meat before the flood?
Well, who said that he was not allowed to eat meat?
Because after the flood, God told him that it was now okay to eat meat. If it's now okay, that means that it's not okay. Before he said it was okay.
I would have to look that up.
I'm just teasing you because I know you wouldn't know the answer.
Yeah, we got a lot of questions.
I can call Dart to come in and help me out.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's
It's too late in the day for
idea.
that, Otangelo. Too late in the day.
Yeah.
Darth still has trouble pronouncing my name. Apparently, it's a really hard name to pronounce, the Tucker. So he makes
Darth's not going to help you with.
You mean Darth would
Darth's
answer
not-
a question?
No, that's what I was just going to get at. Darth's not going to help you with any evidence at all.
He's
No
not going to
evidence.
answer. He's not going to answer any biblical one. That's for sure. He hates to talk about that for the most part.
No,
right?
no. I talked with Darth
yeah,
about the Bible on
that's
this
true.
channel.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
The
he's
only
not on
conversation
Discord
that
right now, so I couldn't even.
the
call
only
him.
conversation that didn't make Tom Rabbit's channel because it's probably not interesting enough. I think it's one of the more interesting because everyone wants to talk about the Bible with him and he never does it. But maybe that's just me.
Well, that's not true. When I go to the Discord Reformation channel and he's there, and I ask him something about the Bible, he answers promptly, and he has a good knowledge, a better knowledge actually than I have in regards of the Bible. So,
why doesn't he talk about it with atheists?
Because he's not an evidentialist; he's a presupper. If he was if he was to start giving evidential arguments from the Bible, it would negate the power of his presup argument.
Okay. The problem with all of that is that the only way he can be a presupper is because of a specific Bible verse, and that Bible verse states that everyone knows that God exists. And I don't know, I think it was in Romans somewhere.
Yes. Romans 1:19-23.
Romans 1:19-23. Thank you. So that is in the Bible. So he can be a presuppositional. You can only be a presuppositionalist Christian after you've read the Bible.
Right. Or you could go with that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. You could go with that verse too. He likes that one.
I would disagree with you, Peter. I think that even people who do not know the Bible, they have a knowledge that a creator exists. In regards of tribal people, like in Australia, there are many different tribes, and they all have their creation stories. And there are very few tribes which have no belief in God whatsoever.
Okay, answer me just one quick question. Why don't I have that?
Because you suppress the truth in unrighteousness.
I can't suppress. Hold on. I can't suppress anything that I'm not aware of.
I hate that.
I started reading the Bible. I started. No. I started reading. I started reading the Bible in 2015, and that's when I read it twice. Before that, I've never read the Bible. No one has ever quoted any verses to me. Nothing. I had no clue. Oh, that's not entirely true. So when I was in the army, I had a guy who made up his own religion, and he used to have a plank on what is called the shelf in the back of the car. He had a wooden plank that said, that was the verse that about Jesus, come to me, everyone who's tired, something like that, and I'll give you rest. I'm not entirely sure. So that's the only Bible verse that I was aware of.
That was a Statue of Liberty.
I did just put a quote which came in mind to me at Facebook right now. The fact that we exist is evidence enough that God exists. The mere fact that there is existence is evidence enough.
For you, it is.
No. The fact that I exist is evidence that my parents existed, my grandparents existed. There's no God in my entire lineage, not that I'm aware of.
So
I am talking about entire.
God, then.
I am talking about entire existence, not about the fact that you exist because your parents generated you. I'm talking about
you left the last half of that meme out, though, that it was ... for people who quit trying. So the fact that we exist is evidence for God ... for people who quit trying.
And Tangelo, hold on. And Tangelo, do you believe that there's other gods?
I believe that God is a triune God, God Father, God Son, God Holy Spirit. They are
no, that's not what I'm talking about.
One substance. Beside that, I don't believe that there are other gods which have the characteristics of an eternal, ultimate, conscious, prime mover, an unchanging mind which instantiated everything and upon which everything is contingent. I don't believe that there are other gods.
But there's other gods in the Bible.
Yeah, but
there's even a god that defeats Yahweh.
They are called gods, and these are demons, but they do not have.
No, they're only demons to you.
Right,
but to the people that believe in them.
Can I say something real quick?
I can prove
Thomas.
that even the God of the Bible thinks that there are other gods. Otangelo, quote to me the first commandment, please.
Yeah, I just tried to explain to you what the Bible means.
Yeah, but
by that.
what's the first command? What's the first commandment?
You shouldn't have
What's the
any
first-
other gods besides me. But these
Why
are
would God?
idols.
Why would God say that if there weren't any other gods? Why wouldn't He then have said?
Because these are
No. Why would He then have said there are no other gods beside me?
And Tangelo,
He points out that you can't have other gods before Him.
and Tangelo, your
Because
God
they-
has lost to
Could I
another
answer?
God. Have
can
you
I
read
answer to
Second
that?
Kings?
Could I answer
Let
to that
Otangelo answer.
first?
Let Otangelo answer first, and then.
I mean, if
I
you
wanna
read
say
the Old
something.
Testament, Peter, then you know that the Israelites, the Jews, they were worshipping Baal and had cults which they adopted from the surrounding people. And
was
these
Baal?
Baal was a tribal god of the Canaanites.
So
and
there
they-
are other gods, right?
Well, can I finish, please? These were not real gods in the sense that only the God of the Bible is the true eternal God which created
Right.
everything and which is eternal.
But-
These
Now,
gods they are not real gods.
can I just say one thing real quick? Oh,
Sure, go
Tangelo, I think right now you're suppressing the truth and ignorance.
Yes, because the first verses of the Bible state that the Elohim created everything. Elohim is plural.
Yes,
Later in
that's
the Bible,
because
it switches
God is. That's because God is three persons: God Father, God Son, and God Holy Spirit. It's three persons, one substance.
You came in late. I beat you to that. I told everyone that's the excuse.
He's like a cousin, an uncle, and a brother.
But if God is one, if there's only one God, there can't be a plural. It's either or. Either there's one God, or there are multiple gods. There's no in between.
I think
I can
you're
give
just
you a link.
still suppressing the truth. I think you're still suppressing the truth, Otangelo.
Okay,
in your
I'm
ignorance.
giving you a link here. The Trinity Explained. I confess that I don't fully understand it, but that doesn't mean that it isn't what the Bible says and what I believe. I think if
Doesn't
I would
mean it
fully
is
understand
either.
the nature of God, then I would almost become equal to Him. So we are very limited in our understanding about God's nature, but that's what the Bible reveals, and so that's what I believe.
Hold on, I
You
Divine
can believe whatever you
goodness.
want. It's fiction, so
and I got something about brain surgery. Oh, okay, brain
Yeah.
research. No clue
That's
why
something
that
on
happened.
brain research.
Okay.
The brain is complicated.
So if you
Otangelo,
manage to,
there's a real easy way to check out if the diagram that you've got up on the Trinity Explained is working. Just replace that diagram with numbers. So the Father is 1, the Son is 2, the Holy Spirit is 3. And now try to make up whether or not you can work that out. So 1 is not 2. That's correct. 2 is not 3, and 3 is not 1. But if 1 is God, then God is 1. That means that 2 cannot be 1, 3 cannot be 1. So your diagram falls apart right there.
can 3 be 2?
Well,
According to
Peter,
this diagram, it can.
Peter,
Okay.
I
a
understand.
capacitor.
Peter, I understand your criticism, and I confessed right away that I don't understand the concept. I just take it by faith, and I recognize my limitedness. That's all.
Well,
And
we
Tangelo,
read
like
in the
I s-
Bible, Otangelo,
You're
we read
suppressing
in the Bible
truth
that Jesus,
in your limitation. You're suppressing the truth
and
in your limitation.
not only Otangelo, Jesus suppressed the truth. Because Jesus said in one verse, he said, there's only one who is good, and that's the Father. So Jesus cannot be the Father if there's only one. If someone tells Jesus that he's good and Jesus says I'm not because there's only one and that's the Father, that is a clear statement that Jesus doesn't think that he's God.
Okay,
So
Peter,
the
can I
Son
give you?
is not
Can I,
God. We can
Peter?
strike
Can
that
I
one.
give you? Can I give you an advice? Consider that you are an unbeliever and you try to teach me about the Bible. And
Okay, Angelo, don't try and pull that BS.
Otangelo, no.
Hold on, Peter. Hold on. Angelo, you believe that your God's all powerful, all knowing, all that stuff. Then why did he lose to another God in the Bible?
I mean, these are silly questions.
No, it's not a silly question. Your God's not all powerful, almighty, or nothing of that, because he can lose.
Okay, I give
it's
you
in
the
2
advice.
Kings. Read it.
I give you the advice and to Peter the advice before you make silly objections.
I'm not making a silly objection when your God is a loser.
Can I finish, please? Before you make these silly objections, I would recommend that you take the Bible, you take a good book about explanations of what each versicle means, go and study it, and then you will find your answers.
I thought Peter was just rebutting the article that you've put up, Otangelo.
Yes, and Otangelo, what you said, that we could go over the Bible, we can do that in the series that we have planned. I'm more than happy to, and it's not me trying to be silly or trying to be trolling. It's just breaking down what is currently on screen, and that there are several verses in the Bible that make it entirely impossible for Jesus to be God. It's not possible.
No, you would have been a demigod.
It's fiction, so it can. Anything can possible. So
no, because you cannot be one person and not knowing everything that particular person knows. That is virtually impossible. If I am me, I know exactly everything I know. If there was another, let's say, an avatar of me, that avatar would still have access to all the knowledge that I have. And Aron Ra has explained it like, let's say, if you would compare God and Earth in like someone playing a game, and the game being Earth, and you have your own avatar, that's your representation in the game.
Okay, Peter, do you know what
we can do it? We could hold on. No, we can do this with something on screen. So we've got Top Dog on screen. The dog that we see there has access to all the knowledge that Top Dog has, and vice versa, because Top Dog can see what the dog sees.
Okay, do you know what the principal difference is between you and me, Peter?
What is it?
You analyze everything.
You suppress the truth.
Can I answer? Can I answer? I would like to answer. Can I answer, please?
Can I speak once in a while, Angelo, or is this your channel?
Because it was the.
Okay, you know what?
Speak.
Talk me again, asshole, and see what happens.
Well, go ahead.
Hey, asshole, let me finish, you lying piece of trash.
The difference between you and Peter is Peter suppresses the truth in unrighteousness, and you suppress the truth in ignorance.
Okay, can I answer now?
Go ahead.
Sure.
You analyze or think that you are in the position to analyze everything from your perspective, and you are basically considering yourself the judge of God's revelation. I, on the other hand, I admit that the Bible is God's revelation, and I try to understand what the Bible says. I study it in order to advance my knowledge about God and His revelation. And there are limits. There are things which I do not understand. And when I don't understand them, that is not the reason why I will quit my belief in the Bible. It just means that there are things which I have a limit to understand, but in the future I will understand them. Now you can call me Bible believers of the gaps, and that I would actually accept and acknowledge that there are gaps which I do not understand, but that doesn't distract me or move me away from the Bible. It just means that I have no full understanding of certain things, which is the trajectory which I am in, actually, to just go from revelation to revelation and understand more and more about God. But the quest of if God exists or not, that is for me a settled issue.
Okay,
Right.
Otangelo, and this is not meant to be insulting, but do you think that the Bible is the infallible word of the living God? Yes or no?
Yes.
If it is infallible, then I am able to read it and understand it. So are you. Because if you can't understand what the Bible is saying, it's not infallible. In fact, that's 100% evidence that the Bible is fallible, because you should be able to read what it says and understand it.
Well, the thing is, if you read, for example, Revelation, it is a very mysterious book, and it says things about the future which have not happened, events in the future which are prophetic events. We do not understand them. There are various interpretations of these things, and that's okay, and it is meant to be so. So I disagree with your criticism, Peter.
It's not criticism. It's a fair statement.
Do
you mind if I step away for a few minutes to leave you guys on your own?
Do you want me to jump off speed?
I want to go watch the verdict.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I'll be back in 5 minutes.
I see Rage wants to come in too. I didn't know if you wanted somebody to step out or.
Yeah, he kind of wants to talk to Otangelo about something, so it's a good thing I'm stepping out.
Okay.
I'll be back.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, Otangelo?
Yeah, hello, Rage.
You was just in my side chat as I was exposing a sexual predator who has a public eye on my 11-year-old daughter, and you was accusing me of crying. Why did you do that?
Well, I have given you several times, Rage, the advice.
So do you have any children, Otangelo?
Yes.
So if somebody that could be a sexual predator had an eye on, say, your 11-year-old daughter, what would you do as a father?
I think, Rage, if you would simply...
I did ignore. And guess what happened, Otangelo?
Let him keep rambling. It's not your problem.
Well, he's still... No, it is my problem. What kind of father are you? No, see, he's showing my 11-year-old daughter, you fucking idiot. What kind of dad are you? Would you just allow that?
Is he living nearby where you live?
No, he has threatened to come to Battle Creek with a baseball bat, Otangelo, several times now.
Right.
Okay, does he know?
No.
Okay.
I understand you're impassioned and you're angry, but let's not call people names like that.
Okay? What the fuck ever, whatever.
All right.
Yeah, Rage. I'm with him. I'm with him on that. I don't think that's productive to the conversation. So.
Dude just literally called me a crybaby because I exposed a sexual predator who has his eyes on my daughter.
Knock. I understand, and I understand your passion. I understand your passion in this, but it would help if. So Otangelo is not Smokey. For that,
no, but he was just in my side chat defending Smokey.
No. I was not defending Smokey. What I am saying, Rage, is that you attract Smokey, because answering to him, and then he has reasons to keep go on with this. And you said that.
So you're of the praise position.
Can I finish, please?
No. You're of the praise position. You're of the praise position that I should watch every word I say to this man, or I should watch every action that I do with this man, because this man might do something. Are you fucking serious?
You are.
No, I'm done. I'm done with you, Otangelo. Go fuck yourself.
Wow.
That didn't help much.
Well, yeah, he's pissed. I think it's okay to let somebody know when you're pissed, but I don't want people calling people fucking idiots and shit like that.
No, I fully agree with that, and also there is.
Something?
Yeah, you missed kind of a blow up. So here's my take, and this is this might not be what people may want to hear, but if someone who is a well-known troll is trolling you, the only way to get them to stop is to just ignore them. And
Exactly.
sometimes
That was my point.
I know that is really hard to do. That is really hard to do, and especially when one of your children is involved. But you could consider just ignoring them, because they'll just wait until you say something again that they can reply
Yep.
to. And
Yep.
that's what's driving them in all of this. They're having fun, and they're having fun with you. And so
Yeah, let me just respond. I would like
No,
to
no, let me-
respond
hold on
to
a second.
Mr. Rage.
And,
Let
and,
me
and
read
keep in
something
mind,
first.
and
Hold
keep
on,
in
guys.
mind, keep in
Go
mind,
ahead,
I'm
Speed.
not condoning the actions of Smokey and Will, because I find it abhorrent what they're doing.
Yeah, me too. And
I'll be clear. I'll be really clear in
Peter,
that. I find it.
let me please answer to it, because I think Rage is still assisting. I
No,
understand.
Otangelo, I don't want you to. I don't want
Can
you
I-
to.
Can I
want
say?
you all to. I want you all to drop it. Okay,
Oh shit!
that's what I would like. I don't know what happened exactly, but please don't
Can
do
I-
it here.
Can I make a distinction really quickly?
Yes, you can.
I think it's important. I don't really see any difference between Otangelo calling Rage a whiner and Rage calling Otangelo a fucking idiot.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, they found him guilty on all counts.
That's
Yeah.
probably a
That's
good thing. I think.
A good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing for peace in the city. So at least they aren't going to burn the town down tonight, which is a good thing. So,
And hopefully
Well,
the Minneapolis,
Yeah, but
hopefully the police force isn't going to resign.
well, I don't care if they do. I think we could do it with the sheriff's department. It's kind of like I'd like to see some major changes in how we police our cities.
Oh yeah,
because
for sure.
The police, at least we should take away take the guns away from cops, because they apparently don't know the difference between a gun and a taser. So I think the sheriff's department would be a viable solution to a lot of these problems if we were to restructure a little bit and not have these unions involved and all this bullshit. But anyway, that's just an opinion. I am so fucking relieved because I was very worried. I live a little too close to it all, Anyway.
Yeah, that could have gone sideways in a hurry.
Could have gone sideways.
You ever been to Otsego?
To where?
Otsego.
Where the hell's that?
It's in Minnesota somewhere.
It is?
Yeah.
I haven't been there.
It's a ways. It's about an hour out of Minneapolis, I guess.
I would like to give a link to what was his name here?
Darth Dawkins.
Sorry. No, here in the site.
Oh.
To
see
Creo
Minnesota.
debunk.
I'll be damned.
Yes.
Since you're here on
Speed, I would
schedule,
like
please
to
send
give-
Darth my love. Definitely send Darth
Speed,
my
I would
love,
like
please.
to send to
My
Creo
love, too.
debunk a link
Oh, mine
to
too.
answer his question. and it is in my library. So I am asking you for your permission to put the link of my library to answer this guy.
Don't give him a wrench.
Okay?
Can't trust him.
I have already a wrench. I
Oh,
have a
Potential
wrench.
has a wrench.
You have a wrench? Oh my god.
oh, jeez. Take his wrench away.
Okay, quickly. Is it too late?
No,
Speed
I've
just
not
gives
posted
anybody.
it. I am asking you if I can post the link of my library to answer that guy.
To answer which guy?
Creo
Guys, can I have a few seconds because we've got praise in the side chat. Praise, this is what's going on.
Actually, here's what the Bible says about the Spirit. The Spirit raises up people. It encourages people. It
Can't hear
doesn't
it.
bring down people.
So quiet.
That praise is 100% proof that you don't have the Spirit, because you go against the very words that I just made you say.
Ooh.
And by the way, I do have a mug that says, yes, I'm wearing pants for this. Just have a think, praise. If you want to have a guy that could be accused of indecent exposure on the internet, if that's the guy that you want to have defending Jesus, I'm not sure.
He's
But
all
then
natural.
I want Darth.
Yeah, but then again, praise could be reading 2 Samuel 1:26, because obviously there Jonathan was the brother who was very dear to him, and his love
but
was
it does not
wonderful,
mean it
more
was-
wonderful than that of woman. Praise, is that what you're getting from Gavin? Just curious.
Okay,
Okay,
Speed,
I
can I
derailed
answer
everything.
to that, to Creo Bank with the
No,
link
he
to
said
my,
no.
to my...
He said no.
Oh, he said
You
no?
can't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. He didn't say that. I said that.
Yeah, I didn't say no, but so I'm still trying to find Otsego.
Okay, and I've got a message. I've got a message for Leo. Leo said my soundboard is quiet.
I think it's a little
Yeah,
ways.
it is.
I think it's northwest of Minneapolis, about an hour northwest of Minneapolis, maybe.
Northwest. Wow. Okay.
Otsego.
Yeah, Google Maps. Every time I type it in, it enlarges everything, and then when I zoom it back out, it loses it because it's not putting a bookmark out there for some reason. I don't know why.
And then you forget
Personal
what
problem.
window you're in.
It's a personal. Google Maps kind of pisses me off lately. I think they made it worse. Anyway, are you from Otsego? Or do you know?
No, I just been there. It's just one of the few places I know in Minnesota.
Oh, I would never go there if I were you.
Otsego.
Otsego.
No, it's fucking hot in Minnesota, man, in the summer. I had no idea.
Yeah. Oh, it's hotter than hell.
I got off the airplane and I was like, what the fuck is this, man? It's like 100% humidity and 80 degrees. Fuck me.
Yep. It's not comfortable in the summer.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, it sucks. And then one day it goes to like 30 below, just overnight. It's pretty interesting.
Hot and cold like Otangelo.
Yep. Okay, guys, I think we should end the stream for the day before we do any more damage. I think we managed to piss off a number of people.
Yeah.
So I got one more thing to say. Like,
what do you got?
So if you want to study God and the stuff from the Bible, it's like studying Dumbledore from Harry Potter books.
Exactly.
Same concept. Just putting your efforts into understanding the character.
And Thomas, if you ever visit the Netherlands, make sure you visit a tiny little village near me. That's the sign.
Called Rectum?
Called Rectum.
There's a town in Newfoundland called Dildo.
And you know where rectum is? Do you know where rectum is?
Right next to
It's
Dildo.
just no. It's just above enter. Just saying.
Oh shit! Otsa goes up on 94.
Yeah, 94. That's it. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
I still need to go to that sign. I still need to go to that sign and have my picture taken next to it because you'll have an asshole and a rectum in the same picture. Just
Damn near
Is it
killer.
a barbershop? Is it a barbershop thing? Poll?
No. We don't have those here. We had different barbershops.
Okay, tomorrow at 8 a.m. Let's eat at the Waffle House in Otsego, Minnesota tomorrow.
Okay, I'll meet you there.
That car accident wrecked him.
Damn, I forgot my snare drum.
Damn near killed him.
Okay, guys, I detect devolution, so I think we're going to end the broadcast.
That's a great idea.
All righty.
Okay. So we're ending for the day. Goodbye, cruel world.
Thanks.
Stay curious.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Pete.
Bye.